Paul's writing, therefore, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, and which what he's done for you already, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice. That's complete surrender is what he's saying. To trust God enough to surrender to him. Holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. In other words, worship, act of love. How you prove you love God is not in your acts of obedience. It's in your act of surrender. Surrender makes all the obedience things go in line. I'm going to obey if there's just 10 areas of my life. I'm going to obey in these 7 areas, but I'm really struggling with obedience in those 3 areas. Why am I struggling with obedience in those 3 areas? Because I haven't chosen to surrender. That's all we're talking about, right? I am a very obedient to God in 7 of my 10 areas. And I struggle here, though. And most of the time, the area we struggle the most, and I'm going to come to this part of this, I'm going to do a whole series on this here shortly, but the area we struggle the most is actually allowing God to do things through us. We struggle the most with God demonstrating his power in and through us. We struggle the most with being his witnesses, not because we verbalize it even, but that the life we live is a good reflection of Jesus. Like we know we shouldn't do these things over here, then we should do these things over here. But when God is stirring us, take that step of obedience, that step of surrender, that step of allowing his Holy Spirit to actually empower us to accomplish something for his purposes. We really struggle with that. Anyway, total surrender. That would be what an act of love would be to God. Verse 2, the first part I quote all the time, do not conform pattern of this world, but be transformed in the unity of your mind. And then it says then. In my Bible, the word then is circled because that's an if-then clause. That not to be conformed, but to be transformed by renewing our mind. Then you'll be able to test and approve what God's will is. His good, perfect, and pleasing will. So get your head around that for a second. Okay, well, what's God's will? If I was going to preach a series on how to know God's will, everybody wants to come to that because we all want to know what God's will is. There it is, right there. That our job is to surrender to God. Our job is to not be conformed to the pattern of this world around us, to be transformed by what God is doing in us, by renewing our mind, and letting the Spirit of God transform us from the inside out. And then we will know what God's will is. Well, that wasn't what I was really after. I really wanted is it like a 3-step process? Well, yeah. I just read to you. So how should I take the next step? Focus on your relationship with him first. Not the question. Not the what's the next step. Focus on the relationship with him first. What is it I'm supposed to do? Just seek after God. Chase after the heart of God. Seek God first. His kingdom, his righteousness, his way of doing things, and all these other details will be added to you as well. As you keep taking next steps, the light keeps moving. You ever walk in the darkness, right? And if the light goes out 25 feet in front of you, you got your flashlight. I've got a smaller one now. You got your flashlight. As you're walking in the darkness, you don't know what's in front of you 50 feet. You know what's in front of you 25 feet. But every step you take, the light moves out another step also, right? So every time you take a step, it moves out a little farther. Take another step, it moves out a little farther. And the point is, as you take next steps, God reveals himself to you. That's the deal. Seek your relationship with him. Stop trying to make him prove himself to you. Trust him.